Hey everybody, Quad Nines here with the EDH deck tech. It's the deck I just built. I'm still trying to find some foils for it and replace a few cards, but this is the list I've played a couple times. Of course, it's going to be Skithiryx, the Blight Dragon, because I'm a bad person and I play Infect in casual formats. But no, I mean, it's really just a mono black kind of control-y deck. Of course, you can win out of nowhere with Skithiryx. There's also a bunch of other win conditions, but yeah, it's not a very nice deck. It's just not. So anyway, just off the top, playing 24 basic swamps. May upgrade to snow covered at some point. Don't know. Anyway, so we got of course we got the general Skithiryx. It's a 5 mana flying dragon skeleton. It's a 4/4. You can pay 1 black and give it haste till end of turn, and pay 2 black to regenerate it. So if you can ever get anything with hexproof, any kind of equipment with hexproof on him, he's really tough to deal with. So anyway. Okay. In addition to the 24 basics, I also have Bajuka Bog, Shizo, Death Storehouse, which can give target legendary creature fear, which I've got, besides Skithiryx, I've probably got 4 or 5 other legendary creatures. And it does tap for black, so it's just... And here's a Orborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, that makes each land a swamp. It is somewhat important. You'll see more why later. Cabal Coffers is one of the reasons. Really ramps up your mana. You know, especially if all your lands are swamps, then this taps for a bunch. If it does tap for a bunch, you can use Deserted Temple to untap it, because while it does tap for colorless, it also colorless tap untap target land. Volrath Stronghold means I usually don't run out of threats. I can recur them. Also almost impossible to mill me, so that's a plus as well. Ancient Tomb, just a little bit of ramp. The 2 life for the little jump you get in mana is really not that big a deal. Inkmoth Nexus, of course, sometimes you just get there with Infect. I do have some ways to proliferate, so if I can just get in that 1 damage, it could mean the difference later in the game. Nykthos, another just mana accelerant. There's a lot of black mana symbols on a lot of my permanents, so this taps for a lot of mana sometimes too. And Thespian Stage, wouldn't mind picking up a Dark Depth. I don't currently have one, but this combos well with Cabal Coffers, which is not legendary. So even though I don't have the Dark Depth, this is still a very useful card. Can sometimes copy other players' useful lands. Mishra's Factory, just a random colorless manland. Tech Edge, because I didn't really want to pull my Wastelands or Strip Mines out of my other decks, but it still can destroy lands when you need to. Onto the spells, got Lotus Petal just for a little bit of ramp when you need it. If you really want to get out of the gate fast, this is a pretty good one. Soul Ring, of course, the best ramp, and my only 1-drop. Grim Monolith is the strongest of the mana rocks. It taps for 3, although it does cost 4 to untap it. Contagion Clasp, like I said, this gives me a way to proliferate. If I can ever just get, you know, 1 infect on somebody or a couple -1/-1 counters, I can just clear the board or win the game. Onto some equipment. Lightning Greaves on Skithiryx, very good, although it does keep you from pumping him with certain spells or abilities because of the Shroud. Also good Swiftfoot Boots, which is, like I said, sometimes better because you can target him with the pump spells or the pumps from other cards. Nim Death Mantle, giving it +2/+2, pretty good. Cuts your clock down by 1. Also, if you got a creature that dies, you can just pay 4 and basically get it into play for you. And the 4 to equip is a little steep though. Demonic Tutor, of course, the best tutor because it goes straight to your hand. They don't know what it is. You get a free shuffle, so why not play it? Sword of Light and Shadow. There's a lot of different swords you could play, of course. I thought I'd play the one that was, had the most removal, white and black. Of course, red base removal doesn't bother me as much, with Skithiryx being a 4 toughness. So, and if I ever get this, only me 6 toughness, so not much red can deal with that. But Grim Affliction, it's an instant speed, kind of removal spell for the small creatures, can deal with a 2-powered creature. Also, it's just proliferating, just randomly, if I've won a game just by using that. Hero's Downfall, good removal. Victimize is a lot of fun. Sometimes I get some small creatures out and they get outclassed. I can just sack them and maybe bring back a fat creature to win the game. Necropotence. Of course, really broken card. If you don't know why, then well, just read it. You pay 1 life for a card. You can do it as many times as you want to. In this format, we start off with 40 life, so pretty good deal. This is extra planar lens. For those of you that don't speak the Japanese, it works better, of course, with snow-covered lands. If other players have swamps out, especially if you have Orgorg, or not Orgorg, if you're just playing against other black opponents. But you know, you exile 1 land, and then each basic land of that type taps for double. So, Last Wraith, it counts the swamps you have, which makes having a lot of swamps very important. Being able to equip it for life, as opposed to actually having to pay the 2 mana, is quite important sometimes. So, can win games just in 1 swing with that card. Now this is a kind of a weird card. I just thought I'd put it in here. Like I said, 'cause I do have Proliferate. So you put a counter, charge counter at the beginning of your upkeep, and it's Darksteel Reactor. So anything Darksteel is indestructible. If it ever has 20 more counters, I win the game. So I would like to win a game with this. Just I think it'd be fun. But most people probably wouldn't like that. But nobody likes losing, no matter how it happens. So I might as well get a kick out of winning. Thran Dynamo, another really good mana rock. Helm of Obedience is a little bit of a combo with my next card, Leyline of the Void. You can mill their whole deck, and none of it ever touches the graveyard, so they just pretty much instantly lose on upkeep. Like I said, it also just turns off a lot of opponents' graveyard shenanigans, so it's a pretty strong card. Consuming Vapors, really good removal, because they have to sacrifice it so it gets around hexproof or indestructible, and then gain the life is good. And then the rebound, you know, multiplayer games, you're always probably going to have a target, and then one-on-one, if they don't play anything, well, then they didn't play anything. You still gain some tempo from that. Snuff Out is a free removal spell. It can cost 4 life, or you can just pay the 4 mana. Not being able to be regenerated doesn't usually come up, but occasionally. Whip of Erebos, you know, strong and standard. Still pretty strong in EDH. Given lifelink helps you really buff up your life total for like Necropotence or something, and then be able to return stuff from the graveyard, which is a non-move Necro, but anyway, is a big bonus. Massacre, another sort of free board wipe. You can play it for free if somebody controls the plains, because I'm always going to have a swamp, and all creatures get -2/-2, or like I say, you just pay the 4. Mutilate, once again, more swamps, more things die, and some shiny, so good. Moonlight Bargain, just happened to get this out of Ravnica, original Ravnica, and it's a pretty synergistic card. You look at the top 5, and you can keep as many you want to for 2 life each, which, like I said, is not a big deal in 40 life formats. Or you can put them in the graveyard. Sometimes I want stuff in my graveyard, so pretty good card for 5 mana in black for card draw. Black Market just really can ramp up your mana. And like I said, you can also proliferate the charge counters on it, although you normally don't need to. But yeah, you can definitely get a lot of mana in your first main phase. Increasing Ambition, just a good tutor. It costs 5, it has flashback, and if you cast it from the graveyard, you actually get 2 cards. So, Treacherous Urge, rocks a box of 90 turned me onto this card a while back. Being able to take the best thing out of your opponent's hand, hit them with it, and then sack it. It's just a real beating. The Life's Finale is next. 6 mana, good Wrath, destroys everything. Then you get to take 3 more relevant creatures out of their library and put them in the graveyard, or if I've got Leyline out, they just go away. Endless Obedience, say I put a really fat creature in the graveyard, I can bring it back with this, because it says from a graveyard, so, and I'll get control, so that's always good. 6 mana, can be less with Convoke. Cage Sun, another mana doubler. This one also pumps my creatures, because I choose black, and it only helps me. Contagion Engine, being able to put -1/-1 counters on each creature target player controls, and then it'll proliferate twice for just 4 mana, really strong. And the last spell I've got is Ingarrick's Wake. It's just an upgrade to Plague Wind because it hits Planeswalkers as well. Okay, oh I'm sorry, there are some X spells. I forgot. Black Sun Zenith, you know, removal. Sometimes you just want to shrink things, and you can do that as well. Diabolic Revelation is a scalable tutor. You can get multiple cards for if you have a lot of mana. Go get all the combo pieces you want. And this is one of the pump spells I was talking about for Skithiryx, Howl from Beyond. I'm trying to pick up a Hatred. Should have one pretty soon, but this is another good one. It's just black X, and it gets +X+0. It's instant. So can definitely win a game in 1 swing. Mind Twist is a very unfair card, especially if you have any kind of ramp out. You can get their whole hand, or even if you just get them for like 3 cards, it's at random, so you could hit like the lands they were planning on playing and just really mess them up. Planeswalkers got Liliana Dark Realms. You can use her -3 ability to pump Skithiryx and win the game in one swing. If you have 6 swamps out. You can also use it just to kind of ramp you or get more swamps. Just get the lands out when you need them. I don't think I'd ever really have to -6 her, but it wouldn't be that bad. Liliana Vest, Tutor, makes your opponents discard. Sometimes you can discard if you want to put something in the yard. And her ultimate, if it ever goes off, is just a lot of fun. Get all the creatures in all the graveyards. Soren Markov is you got to be careful with him because a lot of people get really mad when you multiplayer, you single them out and make their life total 10. So you kind of want to make sure they're being the douche first, and then you get them back with this card. Otherwise, you can just plus him until you can mind control or mind slaver somebody. So tread lightly with Soren Markov. Ichor Clawmere is first of the cheap infect creatures. Like I said, if it gets in, just gets 1 infect, can really kind of snowball from there. And if it gets blocked, it's a 3/3. So pretty good for a 2-drop. Of course, Pack Rat. Everybody's played against Pack Rat, knows about Pack Rat. Sometimes you just want to make a lot of rats and just win the game. And putting the cards in your graveyard, not a big deal. Cabal Interrogator. You get to pay X mana and look at X cards from their hand, and they discard 1. It can be a land card. Just whatever they show you, out of those cards, you get to pick 1, they have to throw it away. So you can only play it as a sorcery, though, so that's kind of a drawback. Ichor Rats is one of those cards that they get, everybody gets a poison counter. Just right off the bat, it just has to resolve. You don't have to hit them or anything. Dark Imposter is a really strong card in EDH. Be able to exile cards, and then you get also the activated abilities of them, and he gets bigger. So mana sink when you need it. Bone Shredder I found is pretty good. It's a chump blocker, so you don't have to echo, but being able to get rid of something non-artifact, non-black, very handy. Doom Necromancer is a way I can abuse the graveyard at instant speed. Black, sack him, get back target fatty from my graveyard. Phyrexian Crusader, of course, one of the best infect creatures ever, because it's got first strike and it's pro 2 pre-relevant colors, and it's cheap to play. Disciple of Bolas, being able to sack, even if it's a small creature, even if it's just this guy, and drawing 2 cards, gain 2 life, it's always going to be at least a little bit. You're always going to be up on card advantage with this one. This is when I just put in Squelching Leeches. I figured I'm going to have a lot of swamps. This thing could be really big for 4 mana. I might want something different, but I thought I'd give it a try because I pulled a foil out of a Journey box, so why not give it a try? King Makar the Gold Curse, picked up a foil back when they were cheap, or they're still probably pretty cheap. Being able to just exile things, and it ramps you as well, and I don't know, who doesn't like turning things into gold? Why not? Another legendary creature, Drana, Callistra Bloodchief. She's a very good mono black general all on her own. Very strong ability, kills things, and can hit for a ton given enough mana, and it flies. A 4 mana flyer, or 5 mana 4/4 flyer just by itself with no other text is pretty good. Shadowborn Demon, removal. Like I said, if you fill up your graveyard with creatures, you don't have to worry about the drawback of having to sack something. But it's a 5/6 for 5. Just beat down and kill things. Another demon, Bloodgift Demon, being able to draw an extra card each turn, or if for some reason get him down to 1 life and just kill them with his ability. If you're going to play mono black, why not play Gary? Sometimes the life gain swings are just huge, and you can kill people out of nowhere. So, Masquerorm, another card that kills people out of nowhere because wiping 3 or 4 creatures from each person, and everybody loses 2 life for each creature that goes in the graveyard, or for that controller. Really strong for 6-drop. Another really big 6-drop is Mikaeus the Hallowed. Gives Intimidate, or his Intimidate, and all my non-human creatures, which are just about all of them, have Undying. And whenever somebody deals damage to me, or a human deals damage to me, I get to destroy it. And it's a 5/5 for 6. Not the worst. One of my favorite 6-drops in the deck, Mercana Revenant. Gets to tap all my swamps for double, and you can use the mana to pump her, the Shade ability. Black equals +1/+1 till end of turn. So can actually just swing for a ton of damage with just her. Necropolis Razor is, I don't know, just a cool card. It's a flying 6/5 for 6 that has cool ability. You get to make all your guys huge if they ever hit, including this one. Grave Titan, one of the best Titans actually. You're always going to get some kind of value out of it. If you ever get to attack, I don't know, all the zombies, just get all the zombies. And this is pretty cool art, it's the promo. And Soul of Innistrad, guaranteeing, or mostly guaranteeing, unless he gets exiled, that I'm going to get back some of my creatures at some point, and it's a 6/6 Death Touch for 6. Not a bad top deck late in the game. Shieldred, another legendary creature that could get swapped out for commander sometimes. Being able to bring something back from your graveyard every upkeep, and each other player has to sack something, can really lock people out of the game fast. And last, one of the most unfun black cards, Myosian of Night's Reach. It's 8 mana, but it comes into play with a divinity counter. And when you remove the divinity counter, each opponent discards their entire hand. Each opponent, you can get an entire table worth of cards with this. And it's indestructible as long as it has the divinity counter. The thing is, if you do remove the divinity counter, and you have a way to sack it, if you have a chaos out, it comes back. And not only is it a 6/3, but it also has another divinity counter. Just saying. You can do some crazy stuff making everybody discard with this one. So, like I said, not a very fun deck for everybody else. You kind of have to respect it a lot, because I can win, kind of know where I can dirtle, just kind of kill things here or there. But yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. My play group's got a lot of powerful decks in it, so you just gotta not be real douchey to like one individual person, but just kind of play your game. Nobody really gets their feelings hurt all that much, unless you just have these infinite combos, which some of my other decks do have. But yeah, I thought I'd give this a chance since I picked up the full Skithiryx, which is just a very sweet looking card. I thought I'd build a deck, see how it goes. So I'm gonna try and pimp it out a little bit more. If y'all have any suggestions, please put them down below, or any comments at all, and please subscribe as well. I've got some more videos coming up pretty soon, pack openings, more deck techs, and maybe some MTGO gameplay. Thanks for watching.